talked about? You want to?
Well, I want to talk a little bit more. Let's talk a little bit more, just because we've touched on no frustration tolerance.
Right.
So
Low frustration.
Lower no. Lower no
no.
frustration tolerance. So when we talk about road rage, if we track it back, I'd be really interested to know. The impulsive, like at bar fights, beating somebody up,
Right.
road rage. I was at Trader Joe's some years ago around Christmas time, and the parking was very difficult in the parking lot. I saw two men, both vying for a parking spot, get out of their cars and start a fist fight around Christmas in the parking lot of Trader Joe's.
Right.
Okay, so we see stuff like that. We see a lot of anger. We see not good problem-solving skills.
It's interesting. I have a number of people that I treat that have road rage, and several of them are police officers. And I have their wives in, and we're doing conjoint therapy. And the wife is telling me about her husband, the police officer, or the highway patrolman, and he is a rager. He's a rageaholic. And when you listen to the internal dynamic, the internal self-talk of the rager, the road rager, you know what it is? I have a right to have that spot. Who the hell do they think they are ahead of me? They're doing this on purpose. It's all of that paranoia, crazy stuff that comes out that somebody's doing something to them, and they have to, and they're vindictive, and they have to make it right.
That's really interesting. I used to work with gang boys in residential treatment. This is a number of years ago.
Right.
2A1, they took everything personally. And
everything.
here's what it was. These boys I worked with these boys 14 to 18 years old.
Right.
They were too young to go to jail, but they had to go someplace. All of them had committed crimes because they all had to get jumped into these gangs.
Right.
So I really like that kind of population. I like it when it's a little bit more difficult and sort of unusual and kind of weird. I like that stuff. And so this one boy was talking about how somebody looked at him funny. And I said, what do you mean they looked at you funny? How do you know how they looked at you? Like, do you know them? He said, no, I don't know them, but I didn't like the way they looked at me. They disrespected me. This notion of being disrespected was an anathema to me. I never heard of something like this before. As if somebody that doesn't even know you is doing something to you. This sense of like, I have to take care of this because I can't tolerate the disrespect or some kind of personal affront that isn't even true.
Which is the foundation of bullying. This is the foundation of bullying, that they have a chip on their shoulder. They don't feel good about themselves. They're mind readers. They know what you're thinking, and what you're thinking is, you're going to disrespect them. So all of these individuals are mind readers, and it's all toxic and negative stuff. Because it's all a projection, if you will. Everything they do is a projection, and it wastes so much energy that they could be doing other things or thinking about other things, more pleasurable things. But again, this is all part of that self-safety I talked about in my introduction, is that they never feel okay. And everything they do is about protecting themselves. In relationships, in relationship to driving on the road with other drivers, all of that. And they're the biggest violators.
So can we talk